Well, good morning. It is an absolute scorcher of a day here in Worcestershire. It is -1, but that is not as cold as in Alberta or in Chicago, both of whom are locations that you're expecting me to talk about this morning, but I'll get onto that in a moment. Firstly, it's so cold that I'm still wearing my Jeff Buys Cars Christmas jumper, because waste not, want not, and I don't really believe in buying a Christmas jumper to only wear it once a year. So I'm going to be wearing my Jeff Buys Cars Christmas jumper throughout the year to get my money's worth, because I had to pay for it as well. Right, Alberta and Chicago. In Alberta, they've issued a decree, it's not a decree, but they've basically said don't charge your electric cars. And then in Chicago last night, it got so cold that even Teslas, the good ones, the good electric cars that work, they've all stopped working. So there's videos, and you can find them on YouTube. I'm not going to dive into cover either of these subjects specifically because other channels have already done it. But have a look at all of the Teslas that are currently stranded in Chicago because they can't move out of the car park that they're in and they can't charge. Interesting place to park a lorry. So if it gets too cold, your electric car doesn't work. I mean, it's cold here today. Sure, it's not -30, but I just left my car warming up for a little bit, let that nice healthy diesel smoke push itself into the atmosphere whilst my cabin warmed up nicely. How ridiculous is it that, for starters, if you live somewhere that you know it's going to get that cold, why would you buy one in the first place? Particularly in like Alaska, like you know that the temperatures are going to be cold, and you know that batteries don't deal well with constantly changing temperatures. I went to make a video yesterday, opened my laptop that I knew was on about 40% battery, and yet when I opened it in the car in the morning, it was dead because my laptop had been on the lounge floor overnight, and clearly the lounge had got that cold that my laptop didn't like it. That's just a laptop. So instead, I just thought, oh, I'll carry on with my day. I'll go somewhere else, charge my laptop, and I'll make my video later. Had that been my car battery, then I would have been really annoyed. So yeah, I'm not really going to cover the Chicago or the Alberta thing in any detail, as I said, because other people have done it. But the question I really wanted to ask is, why are people buying electric cars in those locations when the petrol and diesel thing has worked at low temperatures, well, just forever? So I'm a bit staggered as to why people are using those in cold climates. Second thing, whilst I'm on this early morning ramble, my Birmingham video went down really well yesterday, and it seems that most of you are in agreement. All of the people that run the world are currently in Davos, working out how they can save us from the climate and the environment, and they all got there on private jets. I do a t-shirt in my online store which says stop taking climate advice from people that fly around in private jets, but it's important to know that they don't have your best interests at hand at all. It's quite funny that that's where we've got to. But no, the Birmingham video went down really well, so I was pleased with the response on that because nobody called me racist. But it's tricky, isn't it, that you have to tiptoe around that subject. But the way I see it is, let's say you've got a friend and your friend is really, really messy, and outside his house there's like bin bags, there's old abandoned cars, like he doesn't really dispose of his rubbish properly because that's his culture, you know, that's what he believes in. He's just like, well, whatever, just chuck it on the floor. And then his neighbours as well, they're all the same, they're all just like, yeah, chuck it on the floor. And you're quite a neat person, and traditionally have always been quite neat. Now, if you're going to invite that friend to come and live with you, you'd expect the friend to show some respect for the fact that you are inviting him to your house, and maybe tidy up after himself and make the area that surrounds him not as crap as the area that he's just left. You'd expect him to kind of try to come up to your standard of living in a way, not move to your house and then make your house and your neighbourhood as crap as the one that he left, your friend left in this allegorical story that's absolutely not real. But do you see what I mean? And that seems to be the thing. And then what happens is you then leave your house to him and you're like, oh, screw it, this place is just a mess. The friend that I invited in and all his mates are just making a real mess of the place. and you leave, and then you find out that actually the whole neighbourhood, your friend's invited all his mates, and the whole neighbourhood has been taken over, and there's rubbish everywhere, and just huge levels of disrespect for the local environment and all the stuff around you. Rambling a little bit now, but I think you see where I'm going with this. So it doesn't work, does it? It doesn't work, and that's why Birmingham is a crap hole, and that's why the fact that Birmingham is a crap hole is spreading to the suburbs around Birmingham as well, because these things do spread, don't they? Humans, we like to breed. Some of us like to breed a lot faster than others, and when we do breed, we take up more space. That's why the people are in Davos at the moment trying to work out how they can get rid of us all, because we're all taking up far too much space and consuming far too much. So I apologise that this morning I left my BMW X5 idling for slightly longer than normal whilst I de-iced the windscreen with some slightly warm water. But that sort of pales in significance when you look at the amount of jets that are on the runway at Davos right now. So that's that. Bit of a morning ramble. I quite like the idea of doing like a morning ramble and then do like a proper video later in the day. So the other thing is that I've seen just today 2 more petrol, diesel versus electric challenges have been done. One of them, it's a TV show in, I think, Poland, but I'll do a proper video about this when it launches, when I find out more. They have done a cross-Europe, cross-country challenge between a Saab 9.5 Estate, proper Jeff fodder, and a Tesla. So it's a very Jeff sort of video. They've not yet released the results. That's going to be on I think it's a Polish TV show, and I'm waiting for that to come out so that we can all claim that the Saab was the cheapest, because let's be honest, the Saab is going to be the cheapest. However, because they did it in Europe, on the article that I read this morning, they had a much better time doing it than doing it in England. The other one that's been done is, I saw a short video this morning, Australia. They've done a BMW versus an electric car, and they've used a really powerful BMW, but again, the BMW's coming off cheaper. Mostly, the best thing about these posts that I saw is the comments, because everybody knows that you can put £100 worth of fuel in your car and you can drive 700 miles. But that's not going to be happening if the people in the private jets have their way, because we're all consuming too much fuel, and that's why they've all gathered in private jets to discuss the amount of fuel that you and I are using. The final thing I want to talk about is and I haven't yet addressed this because I feel like I've kind of missed the news on this now, the EV North Pole to South Pole challenge. What I might do is I might actually do that as a proper video. I'm not going to talk about the challenge as such, but what I will do is I'll just read out some of the comments on the post that I saw this morning, because basically, yes, they drove an electric car from the North Pole to the South Pole. However, as one of the comments quite rightly pointed out, they had the equivalent of like 10 F1 support crews working with them and diesel generators, and they were having to put the electric car in a tent to keep it warm so that the batteries would charge from the diesel generators overnight. It just doesn't count, does it? It absolutely doesn't count. So that is my roundup of stuff that landed in my inbox overnight. You've got Tesla stuck in Chicago, which looks blooming cold, by the way. Chicago looks blooming cold right now. Alberta has got all sorts of problems with EVs, and they're basically advising don't go anywhere in your EV because you are going to get stuck, and if you do get stuck, you're probably going to die. So that's fun. And then you've got the Birmingham video thing, and you've got my little bit about my messy friend who's going to come and live with me and ruin the area that I live, so I'm going to have to go move somewhere else and wait for it to happen there as well. And then you've got the EV challenges, and then this North Pole, South Pole thing. I've been thinking more and more about this treasure hunt that I'm going to do as well. Do you want a Volvo, or do you want something else? I got for free the other night, a Volvo 850 T5 Estate. It's not the best car in the world, but then again, if you get it for free, you'll be getting it for free. So shall I use that, or would you like to see something else for free in my treasure hunt? That's going to be soon as well. I think I'm going to do it before I get to 115,000 subscribers, because I'm kind of antsing to do it, and I've got no storage space because I'm not a multimillionaire and I don't have loads of storage for cars, and I'd rather just get rid of it. So let me know in the comments.